Alright y'all, so I got this dad joke book at Barnes & Noble. It's pretty funny, so we're gonna start every video from now on with one little funny joke just to boost our morale. You already know the deal. If y'all like the idea, then let me know, but check this out right here. At what time do most people go to the dentist? Any guesses, Elijah?
Uh, no, I don't got anything.
2:30. I don't know if they'll get it, but look. Oh my gosh. Oh,
funny.
all right, let's get into this video. Hey guys, Ellie here. Today, I wanted to share a special story with you guys. It's one that I've never really told on this channel before. I've gotten a few requests to do it, and so I'm hanging out with the littles right now, so now is as good as time as any, I suppose. Right here we got Manning, and then over there is Brady. And today, I wanted to give their spotlight story. Like I said, I've gotten some requests to do this, and I've been meaning to get around to it for a while, but enough chatter. Without further ado, let's get right into this story. All right, so for starters, this one right here, the one who has no collar, is Manning. My dad calls him Manny for short, M-A-N-N-Y, but his official name is Manning, M-A-N-N-I-N-G. And over here, the one with the red collar is Brady. And the origin of their names is actually kind of interesting. So for any of you that watch sports a lot, like me, you know that the term GOAT is actually quite frequently used. GOAT is an acronym for greatest of all time, G-O-A-T. And in a lot of sports like football and basketball, they say, who's the GOAT, LeBron James or Michael Jordan? I personally think it's MJ. I can explain why in a different video. But in football, there's two great quarterbacks that play the game. There's Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. And people often have to have a debate over who is the GOAT, who's the greatest of all time. So the person that had these GOATs before us decided to name them Brady and Manning after Peyton Manning and Tom Brady because they're both the GOATs. That's basically the origin of their name. Just chilling, hanging out with the entire gang over here by the pond. Brady, what are you doing, bro? I don't know what he's doing. Anyways, though, on a more serious note, let me go ahead and get into their story. To be honest with you, I'm trying to think of the right way to word this. It's a pretty eye-opening story. Like I was saying earlier, not a lot of people know it, and whenever you actually hear the whole thing, you realize that it's actually quite tragic that they have actually gone through quite the ordeal. It's up there with some of the ordeals that many of our animals have gone through. So enough chatter, let me go ahead and get into it. So it all started, they're kind of distracting me with how they're playing right now. But here, let me try to pet them to calm them down. There was this guy, he was a hunter, and one day on his deer lease he saw a goat that had been shot and that it was obviously dead. And he could tell it was a mother because it had like the breasts were enlarged, it had the little nip nops, the milk and all that stuff, so he could tell that it had obviously given birth recently. So of course he ran over there, panicked to see like what was going on, and he saw 3 baby goats that were just stranded in the middle of the woods. It was these 2 right here and their sister, so 2 males and a female. So of course he took them home because he couldn't just leave them out there to starve or get attacked by predators in the woods. He could see they were very hungry. Their mama had passed away, so they obviously hadn't had food or milk for a good while. He could see they were very skinny and hungry. He took them home. He started nurturing them back to health, and the guy became pretty attached to him, so he gave them names. He named the girl Betty. I'm not really sure why exactly. And then, like I was saying earlier, he named the 2 boys Brady and Manny because he was a pretty avid football fan like myself, and so he wanted to name them after the GOATs of football, Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. It's really sweet, it's really clever. At some point though, as you can see, Brady and Manny are the 2 largest goats that we have here, so of course they got really large, and it got to the point where he wasn't really able to take care of all 3 of them anymore because he just, for whatever reason, he wasn't able to take care of 3 goats. So he began looking for good homes for the goats to go to, and eventually he came across the I'm a Survivor Sanctuary. He came across my dad, so he reached out to him, and then of course we didn't have too many animals at that point, so my dad said yes, and then eventually the guy brought him over, and then we got Brady and Manny and Betty to come here. Manny, Brady, and Betty were great. I know my dad always talks about how our #1 criteria for whenever we want to bring an animal to the sanctuary or make a new addition is how well they're going to mesh or blend in with the other animals, how good the chemistry will be. Some animals we've brought in just were kind of bullies. They just didn't really get along well with the other animals. It wasn't a good mix, and so they weren't really able to stay. Other animals have come and they've made themselves right at home and just been really sweet and generally a very positive kindred spirit for the other animals, and so everything goes great in those circumstances. And Brady, Manny, and Betty were the epitome of that. They were so sweet. They just got along with the other animals great, and so of course it was a no-brainer to keep them. They were just great additions, especially Betty. Thinking about Betty kind of breaks my heart, honestly. Betty was the epitome of just, if you want to say, a bundle of joy, full of life. No one epitomized that the way that Betty did. If you had to ask me right now, who is the person or animal that was just the most joyful, the most full of life, and was the most just admirable as far as how optimistic they lived on a daily basis, I would say Betty, our goat that passed away without hesitation. Anyways, that was a very difficult thing for all of us, losing Betty, but Betty can rest easy knowing that her legacy will not be forgotten, and that if all of us, humans and animals, can live our lives the way that she lived hers, then the world will be a much better place. And that really is the most important thing that somebody can leave behind after they pass, is it not? You know? As far as the present though, Brady and Manny aren't super outlandish personalities per se, but like I said earlier, they've made themselves right at home over here. They get along great with the animals, and that's the most important thing. Manny is kind of it's kind of funny to say, but Manny is the male equivalent of Shirley in the fact that he's kind of, I don't want to say dumb, but he's kind of an airhead. He gets his head stuck in the fence every other day. It's a really big nuisance, I won't lie, to get his head unstuck probably 4 or 5 times a week. I still love you though, Manny. Don't get it twisted. It is annoying though. That dude gets his head stuck all the time. It's ridiculous. So we're gonna call him the male Shirley. Oh man. I just fed up the littles, and back to my point from like a minute ago or less. Somebody's always a little bit too antsy to try to stick their head through the fence and get the bucket before I've even opened the gate.
Well, he's not very patient, is he, Ellie?
He's kind of ditzy, like Shirley, the male Shirley. And the hardest part is, it's really difficult to get his head unstuck because he just resists you. The more that you push this way, the more he just wants to push forward.
He's strong.
It's really hard. He's the biggest, strongest goat we have here, so it's tough. It really is. See, I'm barely putting any pressure. He's trying to push me back.
You're right there, Ellie. You're right there, Ellie. There you go.
God.
Go eat, Manning, you weirdo. Look at that, silly.
Every other day, guys. Every other day.
Sheesh.
Seriously.
Some days more often than that. Sometimes it's twice a day.
Yep.
Ellie, look who got back in there.
Lenny? Oh, I literally just got him out.
Lenny! Come on, Leonard.
Yeah. All in all, Brady and Manny are fighters. They're survivors. Just like all these animals here. Just like all of our Facebook family here. We're all survivors of something. Oh my gosh, I'm a survivor of a geese attack. Oh my goodness. Stop! Stop it! Stop it! Seriously. I've done nothing to these guys in my lifetime. It makes no sense why they would want to attack me. Oh my gosh, that was scary. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to let me know in the comments what kind of stuff you want to see. Hope you have a great day. And as I always say, your boy Ellie out.